Hey everybody, welcome. Oh my goodness, you guys, I am so excited to introduce our special guest. You are going to have so much fun. We are going on a roller coaster ride. This is Molly Dayton. She is so fun. She is one of the most fun trainers I have ever seen. She has a massive network marketing team. She has tens and tens of thousands of people on her team. It is just growing bigger and bigger. And I just have to tell you, Molly is someone that is phenomenal at whatever she tries to do. I know, sick, okay, but she also ends up helping you feel like you're not a total idiot by the time we're done. So
because I'm the big idiot, so I make it look easy.
Yeah. But I will tell you, you show her how to do something one time, she's like, bring it on, and I will do it. And she's not afraid of anything. And if there is any fear, she gets over it. She makes herself do whatever it is that she wants to do to get the results she's trying to get. And I will tell you, she leads a massive team of influencers. This is a woman that you want to hear what she has to say, because it will be powerful, it will be real, and more than anything, it will be raw. And I love that about Molly. She has become one of my dear, dear friends.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful that you took your time out of
I'm
your
more excited
schedule.
to be here with you, Teresa.
And I have to tell you, seriously, her schedule, she is in such demand that for the last 30 days, there was not a single day, well, more than that.
Well, between my schedule and your schedule.
There was not a day that we could get together. Today was the day. Then after this, forget it for months, okay? So
Between both of us, yes.
Yes. So Molly, tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in network marketing.
Well, a little bit about myself. I'm a mom. I have 4 kids, 4 very busy kids. So I'm on the fly all the time with them.
Mm-hmm.
As far as network marketing, like you said, I lead a huge, massive organization, and it's taking me to all parts of the world.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm training everywhere, getting people going, getting them started, getting them excited. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm glad you said that, actually, because one of the biggest questions that people have, people often want to start a business from home or something like that. You have 4 kids. I've seen the way you are with your kids. Her kids are seriously amazing. I've gotten to spend time with them, work with them, and you spend so much time with your kids, and yet you're traveling. She travels all over the world. Okay. So how did you find success? A lot of people say, number 1, I want to be successful, but they don't really know how to go about it. And number 2, how do you be successful and balance the top priorities, which is family, the things in your life that matter the most?
I think it's really important. I didn't start off thinking I'm going to travel the world.
Yeah.
And if you would have told me that, I probably would have said, I don't want to. Right? I'm a little bit of a homebody, right? And so I think there are different levels of how you can grow this as a business. You can be very successful within your town or within your city. So I don't want people to think that you have to be away all the time. You have to be traveling. This is something that I've chosen to do. Mm-hmm. I've grown my team where it is in all parts of the world. Right. But I have people that are on my team that are very, very successful, and they have built in their state. And they haven't ventured out, and they're very successful. So
they're happy.
They're very happy. They're very happy. I mean, number 1 is my family.
Yeah.
And so I make sure that I keep that as a priority. But there's a balance in all things.
Yeah.
It's ebb and flow.
How do you make sure that you spend time with family when you're scheduled?
I schedule it. I schedule it in. I mean, I've been with my children all day today. Graduation here, graduation there. You just schedule it. And so I've learned, I'm very good at multitasking, but at the same time, I make sure everything is scheduled for me. Mm-hmm. So, and my kids know it, they know that they have a working mom. Yeah. So when I first started, sometimes when people first start this as a business, I tell them to schedule it. How many hours a week are you willing to put in? So let's schedule it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I had a leader one time who was struggling with some things that were happening with their child, and we set up a schedule that from the moment they wake up in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, when they're with you in the morning, you're not on the phone, you're doing nothing. From 3 in the afternoon when they get home from school, nothing. Mm-hmm. And she was able to accomplish more in that amount of time.
Right.
I think it is. It's about scheduling. Yeah. Cool.
Really important.
Okay, so you are a mentor to so many people, truly. And when we see somebody who has a personality like this, it's easy to go, well, of course you're going to be successful. because you have this kind of personality, because you're not afraid to go, you're a driven person, you're going to make things happen. So you have mentors, you have people who you have felt like have changed your life. Tell me what that looks like. Who are those people? Besides me. Besides.
Exactly. Like one person that really is such a huge mentor to me is Alicia Levy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I'm allowed to mention names.
Absolutely, and tell us why. Like what has made the difference for you that.
So let me tell you, when I first came in, I didn't want to come with Elise, right? Because I know her. I'm good friends with her. And I know she's crazy. And I was just in a good way. And I just was like, I don't want to build like her, mm-hmm. right? So crazy, and I just wanted to be just not like her. Isn't that terrible? And she's my good friend. So. Right. But here I am into the business after several years, and if I were to do it all over again, I would choose to be with her.
Yeah.
She's the most wonderful mentor. So our brains work alike. We both are in forward motion, uh-huh. right? And so I don't think there was ever a time that there was never a time I wanted to quit, ever. But there would be some hard days.
Yeah.
Or maybe I got stuck, or maybe a brain freeze. And so she was always there with me. So when I was having a low, she was having a high.
Yeah.
Right? And so she was just my stabilizer. She was also she would push me for my goals. I would set my goals. They were my goals, not hers. So my goals, so she would help me along with those.
Yeah.
She wasn't just my cheerleader.
Yeah.
She was also my accountability partner. She helped me there. So.
Yeah. And strategist. Sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Very much strategy.
Yeah. Okay, so people who are watching, they're thinking, okay, I want to be a good mentor for my leaders. What are the things that she did, like you talked about some, what are the things that ended up meaning the most for you in your business? And then what are the things that you do as a mentor for your leaders that you find makes the most difference for people?
I have a little bit of a strong personality. In a good way.
Yes.
In a good way. And I had a lot of respect for her. Right? And so sometimes when you're dealing with strong personalities, you know how we are.
Oh, you can't build together without butting heads. You have to butt heads, and that's kind of what helps you grow each other.
But I had respect for her.
Totally.
And I was willing to realize she knew how to build this business. I didn't. And so listen to her. Just follow her lead. And I think that's honestly what I was really good at. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Instead of, oh, I know how to do this. Elise, I know how to do it. I don't. I had never built a multi-level marketing business.
Yeah.
Right? So I was willing to listen. I was willing to get coached. I was willing to let her hold me accountable. So what I didn't need a good cheerleader.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I just need someone to hold me accountable for what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Right? She was really good at strategy. That's probably my number one thing in this company. I love strategy. Well, I learned it from her. Right? I love it.
Yeah.
So.
Good. Okay, so for your team members, you have one personality. Other people on your team sometimes have similar personalities. Sometimes they don't. So what do we do when, how do you handle the people who are different than you?
I love it. I would drive everyone crazy if everyone was like me. I think
So how do you lead those people without trying to get them to be the way you
find out what their strengths are.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a little test. We find out what each other's strengths are. Okay, and so I now know how to play to those strengths. Just like I stay in my zone. I know what my influence is. I know what my strengths are. I don't venture out. I just stay right here. I find out what their strengths are. I know what their weaknesses are. Those are their buttons. I don't go there. I just stay within their strengths and go with those.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
And do you believe that anybody can build a network marketing business? I want the truth.
Yes, but no.
Okay, tell me about that.
I think if you don't like talking to people, this might not be the best place for you to shine.
Right.
I just don't. I mean, this is a people business.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't like talking to people, you might either want to learn to talk to people or think of something. But, you need to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. But other than that, with network marketing, I have seen all walks of life do this as a business and do it well.
Yeah.
Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You just can't judge anybody. You just can't. You got to get everyone the same opportunity, and if they want to take it and run with it, they can.
Yeah. And the reality is, even with the online stuff that we are killing, it is so exciting. There's a point at which you still need to talk to somebody, and you've got to interact with them, whether it's on the Facebook group or something. This does not take out the human touch. Yes, it allows us to automate so much of it, which changes that, makes it easier for people who don't have a little bit harder time to talk to people, but there is still...
There will come a time.
And you still got to be able to care about people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Caring is huge.
Yeah. So maybe this is a really stupid question for Molly, but how do you stay motivated in your business? Because there are ups and downs building a business.
Oh, yeah.
And things don't always go the way you want.
Well, they actually never go the way you want. And I always feel like there's good, better, and best.
Yes.
Right? So when people are like, this went wrong in my business, I'm like, just take a turn. Like, there's option A, B, C, and D. And that's what you also have to learn, because nothing ever goes in. Even if you put everything perfectly, it still implodes.
Yes. And I think one of my favorite quotes is, if option A doesn't work, just remember there are 25 other letters of the alphabet.
Options. Yeah, if there's other options. How do I stay motivated? I think another thing is, are you doing this as a hobby or as a business? Because if you're doing it as a business, what business ever goes perfectly? It never does.
Yeah.
And so the other thing about staying motivated, I work with my team. I'm looking for people to build this as a business with. Yeah. I'm educating myself and teaching others about the product. I'm strategizing with people. So there's so many different balls that I carry. So listen, if I get tired of this ball, I just go over this ball a little bit more. You just go like this,
You get to avoid the parts you want sometimes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sort of sick of this one, so I just go over here. So, for me, and then, anyways, it's easy to stay motivated because there's so many different aspects of this business.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a whole huge push to the online space. And yes, I mean, it's exciting, obviously. Yeah. That is a really great place to go. It's a great way to build your business. We're not going to be left behind. We're going into the 21st century, you guys. But what would you say to people? Because I'll tell you this, a lot of people who talk about the online space act like that's all there is, that's it. Well, everything else is old and gone. Yeah, tell me your thoughts about that.
Well, this is probably the unpopular opinion as she's building online. I built my business 100% just talking to people.
Yeah, me
too.
Did. At the beginning.
At the beginning, that's what we did.
My presidential diamond, all like that.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think with the product that we sell, it's touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Come smell it.
Yeah.
And this, I just don't think the screen is a scratch and sniff. So trying to describe to someone what peppermint smells like, or not peppermint, another oil. So I think online definitely has its place, obviously. Mm-hmm. You can reach so many people. You can, you'll be hearing someone talk and you'll be like, oh, I like this person's personality, or I like this person's personality, or whoa, she's too much, or whatever the case may be, right? So I think that's something with online. But I still think it's a touchy-feely.
Yeah. And what if we were just talking generic network marketing? How do you, because online is not going to stop.
Nope.
How important do you think the human contact is? Does it matter what network marketing company you're in? Is it just because you're not in one company, is it okay to just do only online and never talk to them?
No. Maybe there's a correct answer that I don't know about.
No, I'm asking you.
I just think with multi-level marketing, it's based on momentum, but it's a relationship business. And so, yes, online's going to have a strong presence, but that's not the only space,
Yeah.
It's still person to person.
And honestly, I mean, we feel like we're in a blue ocean because that's absolutely what our podcast is all about. It's all about online is where it's at. That's where the future is. But there are beautiful pieces that you cannot be afraid to keep. Yeah. Because we have to keep those pieces, and that together will create the bigger powerhouse than just
it's learning
online.
To work together.
Yes, meshing those two pieces.
Meshing together.
Yeah, love that. Okay, I want to ask you some questions about recruiting because you are amazing at recruiting. The people who are doing online for example, in our company, in any company, if you look at the numbers, the people who are recruiting tons of people, most of them, they're doing it online. In fact, I think everyone who has the highest numbers does it online, except for Molly. Yeah. Her numbers, so we're doing crazy stuff online, bringing in enrollments like crazy. We also do the organic stuff. But I will tell you what, there are some competitions that sometimes she's beating us, and we kind of have
most of the time.
Sometimes she's beating us.
I'm just kidding.
So how do you do it? You are obviously amazing at recruiting, and these have to be personal enrollments.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Well, there's no secret. I mean, I think when you love what you do and you love what you're representing, it's easy to talk about.
Yeah.
It's easy to talk about. Like, I'm not even kidding you. So I go into the gas station, right?
Yeah.
And my kids are in the car. And I go into the gas station and I come out not 2 minutes later, but I come out 20 minutes later. And what do my kids say? Let me guess, Mom, you're talking about your business. Like, it's just really
Helping
easy.
people live
You're
your
just helping
side.
people. You're just helping people. Or like, you see someone limping at the store. My kids are like, hey, Mom, you got any Deep Blue? You know, it just becomes part of your life. And I don't mean to sound cliche-ish, but when you really believe in what you do, you just, it's really easy to talk about. You know, and so, like, all you got to do is tell me, Molly, right now you are not allowed to talk about your business. And they're just like, okay. I just love what I do. And so world's a big place. And so whenever you're traveling, I'm talking to people. And because
Now,
it always says, what do you do? You know?
Yeah. And are you usually leading with the product or with the business?
Product.
Because you're helping people.
It's always product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me an example. Pretend
No,
like
I can't.
Yes.
I can't.
Oh, they're dying. They're dying.
No, I
Okay,
can't.
I'm limping.
No, I can't. Okay,
Molly,
stop.
ouch.
I can't. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me tell you how easy it is.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to mail a package.
You gotta give me something.
I'm gonna give you something.
Okay.
Okay. No, let me give you. Okay. So I'm at a hotel. Okay. And I'm at another multi-level marketing convention. I'm at my husband's that he's working at.
Okay. Which is not the one you're in. Okay.
Yeah, this was a few years ago.
Okay.
Since he's come on board with me, but
Okay.
we're at his. We're in the plane, and he's like, now his personality is just the opposite of mine. Okay, he's very chill, a little bit more serious. And so he says, Molly, this is my business. So can you please respect that and not talk about your business when we're at this one? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, no, I'm serious. No, please don't talk about it. I'm like, okay.
I'm already worried for him.
Right? So he's away doing his business stuff. I'm supposed to be just hanging out at the hotel.
You're behaving.
I'm behaving. So I'm sitting in the foyer of this hotel, and a lady comes up, and she looked like a character on Saturday Night Live. Okay, bouffant hair, red ruby, everything red ruby. She's talking with a New York accent. And so she comes up to me and starts talking to me because she wanted to know where I got my purse. Well, it happened to be, it happened to be a purse representing my company. And I was like, oh, and I hear my husband, do not talk about your business. So I'm like, oh, well, I sort of want it. She's like, I have to have that. Where'd you get it?
Is it the white one?
It was the green one.
Oh, the green one.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was just like, so I'm trying to do everything I can to not. She's like, well, I'll just Google it. And she's like, how do you say that? Tara? I was like, oh my heavens. So she's trying to Google his purse.
Thinking, I promise I'm trying
I
really
promise. I'm doing everything. So finally I was like, okay, listen, this is the company I work for, and I started, and she's like, lavender. I have to have some lavender. And I was like, crap, I'm in trouble. So I just started talking to her about lavender. Okay? And so I said, where are you from? She sounds like she's from the Bronx. And she's like, I'm from Chicago. And I was like, Chicago? That's not even the right accent because I'm from Detroit. So I was like, what are you talking about? So before long, this woman is inviting me to Chicago. Okay? Because of the doTERRA purse, and she loves lavender and has to have lavender. And so I give her my information, whatever. So we contact each other. I mean, we
And so
we
you're having, I can just
exchange.
imagine you telling your husband, I accidentally signed someone else.
So she's wanting me to come to Chicago. Okay, whatever. So then I go over to his event. I can't even believe I'm telling you this story. So I go over to his event, and I'm just behind the scenes being really quiet Molly, you know. And all of a sudden this lady comes in, Red Ruby herself, and everyone at his company's like, hi, to this Red Ruby. And I was like,
no.
who was this lady? And everyone's saying hi to her, and she's like, honey, to me. I'll be calling you about lavender. And I'm like, my husband's like, you have got to be kidding
It's like,
me.
are you serious?
You had to talk to her? And I was like, I didn't mean to. So anyways, that's how it happens.
So what I want you to understand.
Don't wear Red Ruby around me.
She loves people.
I know, it's
she
just
loves
fun.
people.
It's just
and
fun.
if you can be in that place where you love people, and guess what? There are times you get on an airplane, you're so tired, you fall asleep before the person even sits by you, whatever. There are times where maybe that's not your moment, but love people. Love people, care about them. If you really do,
I could do a whole thing, a podcast on just what happened to me on planes.
Okay, we're doing one where I ask her
was
to role play
hilarious.
and we fight
No,
about it, and then.
Yeah, planes are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, planes are
So
awesome.
I want you to tell me the comparison, because it's probably going to be two different answers, but there are reasons that you think that people, like you've seen people attracted to you, want to enroll with you. What are those character traits? And I know that you are humble, and a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but people want to know what attracted them to you that made them say, I am going to enroll with this person. And then contrast that with, you have a huge team. So you see all these leaders who are attracting, you see when they get enrollments and the ones who don't, what are the character traits that are attracting? Are they the same character traits, just exhibited in a different way? Are they different
That's
character
a
traits?
complicated question.
Yeah, so first,
First.
what attracts people to you?
The one
Why do
thing
they enroll
I
with you?
hear all the time about me, and I don't know if I should take this as a compliment or not. They're always like, "You are so real," and I'm like, "What does that mean?
What exactly?
What does that
do
really
you
mean?
by that?
What is real, sir?" I think I just speak what's in my heart. I don't know how to blow smoke. You know,
Yeah.
It's a take it or leave it. It's a great opportunity. I don't say you can make all this money. I don't.
Yeah.
Because it's based on how hard they work.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think I hear that a lot. I'm very real, very authentic. You know, isn't that funny as I was saying that? But I think also with my personality, I love talking to people like we've already established. So I can talk to a lot of different types of people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
And it's because you question them.
Yeah.
You want to get to know them.
Yeah.
But I would have to add, just because I think it will help our listeners as you talk about, people say you're real. I think a big part of that is she's not afraid to share her flaws. She tells when she messes up, and she is not afraid to go into the whole thing so everybody can learn from her. And yet here you are, this huge success. So they feel like, wow, if you went through that, maybe I can do it too. You give them hope,
Yeah.
I think.
I think a lot of times when you get to know me, people are like, okay, if Molly can do it, I can do it, right? I'm the mom that forgets her kids at carpool, right? That's who I am. And so I think I'm a real person. I'm a mom that's actually done very well in this business. That's how I like to, I've ran different businesses before this.
Mm-hmm.
This is just different.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you see you have so many team members that you get to see from a big high level view.
Yeah.
The ones who get lots of enrollments or get enrollments on a regular basis, even if it's not a lot, what are the character traits that you see that you could go, dude, this is why they're getting enrollments?
Getting enrollments, the people that keep it, I don't know if this is a character trait. So
Okay, that's fine, yeah, go.
The
whatever.
people that keep it simple
Mm-hmm.
and stick to the basics, we call it income producing activities.
Yeah.
And don't try to overcomplicate things, or people that are okay just keeping to the basics.
Yeah.
Instead of I have to do it different or I have to do it better. Or Teresa has this whole training program, but I'm going to make up my own. Why? If this is a tried and true, why aren't you just doing this over and over and over again?
Yeah.
So people that are getting a lot of enrollments on my team, they stick to the basics and they do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I can't even say that enough. You just keep it basic, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing as far as character traits,
Uh-huh.
when people have the feeling of abundance, man, that goes a long way. Like, just help everybody. Even if they're on a different team, just help them.
Yeah.
It comes back tenfold.
Yeah.
Just live in the law of abundance.
Absolutely.
And you will have abundance come to you.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
And it's so interesting because every time in my life, I generally live the law of abundance, and I think that's one of the things that we love about each other too. Yeah. But there are those times when something happens, or you figure out something new, or you do something and you go, wait a minute, let me hold that close just in case. It never goes as big or as fast or as awesome until you get to that place where you can go, dude, let me share this with everybody. This is awesome.
You know who's a good example of that is Elise.
Yeah.
How many great programs has she come up with?
That the entire company now uses.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and she's really taught that well to me. For example, I just got back from Australia, and they had a big training, and they had sold all the tickets. And my team didn't get their tickets in time. There you go. So there's a couple thousand in this room. None of them are my team. Okay? They're holding their own little team event because they couldn't get in. Oh. So I know. So they asked me, corporate asked me, hey, will you come train this team? And my team's over here, right? There's not one person in these few thousand. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Let's figure this out. So I went and did training segments for this team, this couple thousand, and then I went and trained my team. I didn't need to go.
Yeah.
No one's on my team there.
Yeah.
But it'll all come
And they're not paying you.
They're not paying me. No. That would be nice.
And I want to ask you about just network marketing in general. Okay. So what are the things that you think are the most important? And that's a really big question. What are the things that you think are most important? If you're going to build a network marketing business, what do you have to make sure that you're doing?
Yeah, that is a big question.
Yeah.
Well, I've had my own business. I've been an employee before. I've run my own business, and then I've done, network marketing. And network marketing, what I have seen is consistency.
Okay.
Like, you have to be consistent. You have to be very disciplined. Like I go back to, you have to schedule your time.
Yes.
When you have a family, maybe you have school responsibilities, church responsibilities, sports responsibilities. As you're starting a new business, that's the last on the totem pole, right? So you have to be very disciplined to schedule that time in, if that makes any sense.
Totally. And you know what? I love that you made that point, and I'll tell you guys why. Because a lot of people are kind of resistant to that because they feel like, no, it's going to take away my freedom. I can promise you there was no one more like that than I was. And as you learn to schedule your time, I am telling you, I get probably, I'm not joking, 10 times more done in a day. And I have more free time when I want to take my free time. It's unbelievable if you will schedule your time, and the more obsessive you become about scheduling, the better that becomes. And then it becomes habit, and it doesn't feel like you're driven by a schedule.
How come busy people figure it out? Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, some of that you think, oh, they're really busy. Those busy people have figured that piece out where it's just one more thing that they just schedule their time.
Yeah.
And they make it a priority.
Right.
So that's the other piece. I think you got to make it a
so
priority.
Consistent, make it a priority.
Depending on, what you want to do with it.
At whatever level you want.
At whatever level that you want to
Perfect.
do it. Because let's be honest, sometimes people want to do this to make an extra $100 a month. Maybe they want to get their product for free.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they want to make an extra $200 to $500 just to have some extra slush fund.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they want to make $5,000 and retire from their current situation that they don't like. Or maybe they see bigger and they're like, I want to make $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is a month. Right?
Yeah.
So I also think the more simple you keep it, the better. I don't care what company you're in. But the more simple you keep it, the more duplicatable you make it.
Yes.
So that anyone can do this. Anyone can do it. If you make it complicated, someone's going to look at it and say, I can't do that. I can't do that. There's no way I can do
I
this.
can't be like that person.
I can't be like that person.
Yeah.
So the more simple you keep it, the more duplicatable you keep it, the more people are going to be engaged wanting to do it.
Okay, love it. Okay, I think something that happens with network marketing is people get excited, they want to get involved, then things go bad and they think, I'm not good at this, or they think this isn't worth it, or it's not going to work, or whatever. what I would like you to tell me, what is the biggest challenge that you have dealt with trying to build your business, and how have you handled it?
My biggest challenge. Well, to go back with what you're at the beginning of your question,
Yeah.
it's a numbers game. This is network marketing. It is a number. That's how I look at it. It's a numbers game.
Absolutely.
So if you contact 100 people, you're going to have 45 interested.
Right.
You invite them to a meeting, maybe 30 people show, maybe
Yeah.
15 purchase. You just see how it comes down.
And you get to decide who you approach.
Right. So a lot of times I think with multi-level, when you start, you invite 3 people. You invite your closest 3 people, 3 to 5. Okay, take those numbers, and maybe no one shows. And then what you hear is, this is so hard. You know, they haven't, it's a numbers game. You have to go through a lot of no's to get those yeses.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And I think sometimes women, I'm going to just use us as an example. We can be a little emotional, and I don't. That's God given. That's God given. It's a good thing. But we get offended, or we get our feelings hurt, or
we take it personally.
We take it personally, and we need to be a little bit more analytical. This is a numbers game, people. So I care about everybody individually.
Yeah.
I want to help everyone individually, but on the mass, when I'm trying to do it as a business, the more people I talk to, the more successful I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay, now go to your question that I probably didn't answer.
No, you answered that first part. That's
Okay.
awesome. Kate, what's the biggest challenge you've dealt with as you've because it is a numbers game, and it is hard to get those no's, and then you build your team, and you're working with all these personalities who you're not paying them, so you don't get to boss them around and whatever.
Probably the biggest challenge I see is when people don't believe in themselves.
Yeah, limiting beliefs. Oh my goodness.
Right? It literally stops people in their tracks. And so a lot of times I can see someone's potential. I'm like, oh my gosh, you could be so good at this. But they don't see it. And their fear shuts them down. They don't even realize how good they could be. How many times do you see that?
Yeah. Oh, all the time.
All
the time.
And so then what happens is deflection, or they blame me.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a big one.
They blame me. Oh my God.
Because of course it's your fault.
It's my fault. Okay, I'll take it. So there's that deflection that goes on. I also think because of their fear, then the excuses. I don't have time,
or the justifications.
Yes. And you just, and they have to work through that themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do everything to inspire them and to encourage them, but I can't make it for them. They have to figure it out on their own. So,
which is interesting because that also brings us back to that thing about how it's person to person. The more of a relationship of trust you have with that person, the more you can push and help them to go after their goal. For example, if I'm having a cow about something, if I'm, depressed, or I'm having an issue, you're someone who could come to me and go, you want to know what? Just shut up, okay? Just get up.
I would never sit.
But she could, and it would be okay. And it would be exactly what I needed. So you have to create a relationship of trust with someone.
Yeah. Yes. And I always call it, I've made a lot of emotional deposits in our bank account.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So I've put a lot in the emotional bank account. So then, when we have to have a crucial conversation, right? I luckily can take some emotional withdrawals, and you're not getting mad. Because I care for you. I love you. There's trust built.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see people this is what I see sometimes. They're like, I just had my epiphany. Sometimes I see people and they think it's all about them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they're not doing well. It's not about you. It's about if you can make your team successful, then you're successful.
Yeah.
So if I can go help my team get to their goals, then my goals are met. Right?
I love what Jim Rohn says. He says, the more people if you can get everything that you want, the more people you help get what they want.
Totally. So if I help them with their goals, mine are going to be met. As I help them, and when you say help, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Whether it's the business, I know my people personally.
Yeah.
You know, and we have that relationship of trust going on. As I help them meet their goals, it just helps me be successful.
Okay, when you had a situation, just in case this ever happened, when you've had a situation where you have a leader where there is angst, where there's a problem,
I just
maybe they
fire
feel like you're punching.
I'm just kidding.
Since we can't fire them,
Yeah, I'm kidding.
What do you do? How do you handle it?
You know what? It's that little crucial conversation. Okay, so let me tell you. let me just tell you with me. So with my mentor, who wants me to succeed more than anyone else in this whole company? It's my mentor.
Yeah.
Right? So
you and them.
Yes. So who is going to be the one that knows me the best, knows my weaknesses? My mentor. So who's going to be the one, if she's a good mentor, to say, I love you, Molly, but this is something you might want to adjust. And I'm like,
and my little nice way to say
that. We both know her. That's not how she says it. Okay. Okay. But truly.
She says it exactly how it needs to be said, right? For the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're dealing with a strong personality, she better come to me like that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
The reason I say this is there have been times I haven't agreed with her.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this little thing. If she says something, constructive criticism, we wait 24 hours. So I can process, get cool down, get teachable, get humble, right?
Uh-huh.
But then I can go back to her and then we can have a really good conversation, right? So when I'm mentoring my people, like you said before, we have different personalities.
Yeah.
And so sometimes maybe I'm too black and white for some people. Yeah. And I know what their strengths are, so I play to that strengths. But there have been times when between me and someone, everything's good. Everything's peachy. There's nothing going, and I'll say, hey, when difficult times are coming, because every business has it, how do you want me to handle it?
I love this.
Yeah. How do you want me to handle it? If I text you, do you not text back for 3 days? Do you yell? Do you throw tantrums? What's your response, right? And how do you want me to respond? Do you want me to, what?
This is awesome.
Right. And so it's always, and they laugh, and I'm like, oh, no.
I'm serious.
I'm serious, right? And so, and honestly, I have to be honest, this doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
But, there's life circumstances. So maybe here's the other thing, maybe their business is going fine, but maybe their personal life is exploding. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that.
Yeah.
Right? And so they might be getting angry at me. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with their personal life. So I have to have enough in my emotional bank account so I can go in and say, okay, what's going on? I haven't even talked to you for a week, so why are you mad at me? Right? And then this comes out. But so, we as leaders, we wear many different hats.
Yes, totally.
So
totally.
I don't even know if that answered your question.
Totally did. Okay, people, honestly, most people, if they could make extra money, they would love to make extra money. And barring the negative reputation that network marketing has had in the past, the reality is it's changing. It is changing, and we are sweeping a whole new generation in. But people do worry, number one, if they're going to be good at it, but the question I'm wondering is, people say, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time. How would you answer that question?
Sorry. How
that gives you a little hint of about what's coming.
How many hours are in your day do you have to work with?
24.
Same with me. So we all have the same amount of time. It's all about how we prioritize our time.
Yeah.
So I was working with a woman who was working 3 jobs, 4 kids. So she would be the one that would probably have the right to say, I don't have time. She got up 2 hours early. She was contacting on her lunch break. She was handing out samples at work. She was massaging clients, handing out samples, talking in the phone, going to and from work. I mean, that woman found time, right? So we all have time. It's how we prioritize our time.
I love it. And the reality is the answer to the money would be the same thing.
Right.
You prioritize what's important.
Right.
Yeah. And I will say this. Now with what we're doing with the online piece and how powerful that is, and we have it available to you absolutely free with all of the pieces that you have for that, You even have less excuse.
Yeah, look at my fingers starts going. Oh man, you have no excuse now. Like you don't even know how lucky you are with this online piece. We didn't have anything.
No.
We didn't even have our Facebook groups. Like we didn't have anything when we started. We didn't have all the materials. Like this is just like being handed to you on a silver platter, you know? So for someone to say, I don't get it, I'm like, no, you really don't get it. Like everything's there for you. Anyway, sorry. I went on.
That was good. Sorry. Okay, so what advice would you give someone who is looking for a network marketing company and they're trying to decide which one to choose? What would you say to them? What are they looking for? Because your husband worked for all these companies. You kind of have an insider view.
Yeah, so sometimes, okay, listen, I just
I love it when she gets the grit before she's going to say something.
Listen, I just have to, let me just preface what I say. Sometimes I get so passionate when people think I'm mad. No, I'm just passionate. Okay, so this is the question.
So you're not mad right now.
I'm not mad, but this is a question I'm very passionate about.
Okay.
So sometimes I see people that are in certain companies, I'm like, well, obviously they didn't do their homework on that company. Okay? That's not me being rude. That's me saying, did you check out the owners first? Did you see if they maybe serve prison time first? I'm not kidding. I'm sorry. Maybe we should edit that out. But what kind of people are they? Mm-hmm. What kind of people are driving this company?
Because you're going to become business partners.
Yeah, you're business partners with them. Birds of a feather flock together, right? So if this is the culture of the owners, that is going to come into the company, 100%. So you want to look at what do they represent?
Yeah.
You know, are they good, honest, ethical, full of integrity kind of people? So I will say this. I'm just going to say we have 7 owners in our company. 5 of them, they did the little strengths finders test, right? Their number 1 out of 5 of them was purpose. I love that. They are driven by the purpose of our company. It's not money. Mm-hmm. Money's not driving them.
And most of them had a lot of money before they didn't need to do this.
They didn't need to. And they don't even need to now.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be honest. Okay?
Yeah.
So the next thing is the compensation plan. Okay, listen, let's be real. If you're doing this as a business, you're doing it to make money, right?
Yes.
Maybe I'm being too strong.
No, I love it. I'm loving this.
Okay, so if you're
this is exactly what people want to know.
So why don't you look at the compensation plan for Pete's sake, right? So does your company have breakage? You know, do they have breakage? Where does all the extra money go? Like when I see the different levels of leadership in a company, okay? Yeah. Am I allowed to reference my company?
Go ahead.
Okay. So if I look at different levels of leadership and do apples to apples with other companies, mm-hmm. I have a girlfriend. When she's at a certain level, she would average income might be $2,000. Okay. No joke. Same level over with us, $26,000. And so I stop and look. And these are coming from, let me just clarify, these are coming from income disclosure statements that are readily available.
Yeah.
So anyone can compare. This is nothing secret. So my thought is, who's giving that extra money? Corporate. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like you look for the company that rewards the people.
Yeah.
Rewards because it's not an easy business. So the more money that they put into your pocket, the more loyal you're going to be to them. You got to look at the product, right? I can't even tell you, because of where we live, how many people don't even, executives or owners of companies, multi-levels, don't even know their product. They don't know their product. And so we are...
Really? That's news to me. I did not know that. And I've been in this industry for 11 years.
No. They don't even know their product.
Wow.
They don't even use their product.
Mm.
Yeah, that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I think we're a product-driven company. So you want to look at the product. You want to look at the company's retention rate. You want to see how they figure their retention rate. You also want to look at the management of the company, and you want to look at the compensation. Those 3 different things before you jump in, because there's cute packaging. Yeah. Go if you want to do it as a business. And then the other thing, part of the business, I don't even think this. She didn't even ask me this, but I'm just going to
go for it. Go for it.
You got to pick a business partner, and I think that is so important. Who are you going to do business with? Yeah. Right? Like I did. I'm doing business with Teresa. That was a smart move on my part, right? Right? Who are you going to do business with?
Very, very a blessing for me. I'll tell you that right now.
But if you're going to do this as a business, you you might be doing it for several years, then you want to be smart of who you pick for your business partner.
So let me just add this piece, because that is seriously brilliant. If you listen to what she just said, it is powerful. So even if you are doing the online thing, I always tell people, don't just go out and do the online. This is part of why it's important to mesh the two. Number one, do you really only want to help other people? Do you want to help your family and friends? Some aren't going to be interested. That's great. You get to choose who you're going to approach. But the reality is, I tell them, if you're doing the online thing, go find your partners that are going to work directly with you. Get your own partners that you choose, and then the online stuff can go underneath that.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. So I have a question I'm really excited to ask you. It has to do with, network marketing. People talk about, there's network marketing. What's the difference between that and a normal job? And, how
it's
do you even...
awesome. Okay, so network marketing, work hard for 4 years, right? Just kill it for 4 years. Well, you don't have to, but I'm just telling you. If you do, it's going to set you up for the next 40.
Yeah.
So I used to have my own business. I've had a couple businesses, and I would make money when I went to work. And I was sort of the magic unicorn in the, So, and I had long-term debt. I had employees. I had payroll. I had, all my, everything. Inventory.
Dealing with all the legal and
everything.
Yeah, government stuff.
Everything.
And all that, yeah.
And then if something went wrong, or there was a bad season and my paychecks went down, or maybe my inventory didn't sell, or whatever the case may be, I made money when I was at work.
Yeah.
So it was very telling. I took my kids on a vacation, which, by the way, we never did before we were given this opportunity. No, we weren't. We couldn't afford hotels, so we would travel. To St. George was as far as we would go, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I had taken my kids on a vacation, and I was trying to explain to them what residual income is.
Yeah.
Okay? So I showed them my back office. And I showed them how much volume I had on Monday. Okay? So then we played all day. And then on Tuesday morning, I showed them my volume.
This is so smart.
Right? And they were like, different numbers from Monday. I'm like, exactly, watch this. Played all day, went swimming, went boating. Wednesday I showed them. They're like, holy camoly, Mom, it went up. And I'm like, so I just kept, and I was silent. Every single day I would show them till Friday. And I showed them, and I said, it went up X amount of dollars. And I was playing with you. And I made money. Did you see how much money I made? I made money when I'm playing with you, right? That's the power of residual income.
Yes.
You put in the work at first, and it's work. Don't get me wrong, it's work. But you're going to work that hard somewhere else, whether it's your own business, whether you're working for a corporation. You're going to work hard. You might as well work hard for yourself. But then residual income, it's a lot of little orders with a lot of people doing it. Yeah. And, and then you get that little pipeline going. You get that little pipeline, and then pretty soon that pipeline is pretty darn big. And that's when my kids got it. They're like, oh my word, Mom. I'm like, exactly. And then for them, it was okay that Mom traveled. They're like, go get bigger teams, Mom. Go do it. So it's cute.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me your future. How long are you going to keep doing network marketing? What do you think you want to do? I mean, you're successful. You can stop today.
Oh, I don't want to.
Okay, why?
I love it. I love what I do.
Yeah.
Like, how many people can truly say they love what they do?
I love what I do.
I love what I do. I love what I do.
It's true.
Do I have bad days? Yes. I have bad days. Are there days that I don't want to get on the plane? Yes. But that's like with anything you do. But I have a lifestyle now. I have financial freedom for my family. I have allowed my husband to come home and be a dad. Mm-hmm. And I get to meet people all over the world, all walks of life. I get to go on humanitarian trips. I get to take my kids on these things. I mean, it's just, we work for the most amazing company. I mean, I'll always do what I do. I love it.
Yeah.
And, the higher you go as far as in the company, it affords you more opportunities to serve people. And so
it's absolutely true.
Oh yeah. So some people say, you make this much money and everything, and I equate it to, I know. And now I get to go to Nepal and help, and I get to do this, and I get to do this, where I never had that opportunity before. In fact, I'll be honest, I never knew you could dream big. I never realized it. I never did. And so I was stuck in a rut called life, and we were just paying bills, and sometimes we weren't even paying our bills. You know, have you ever lived paycheck to paycheck? I have my whole life, and sometimes there wasn't even enough money to make it to the next paycheck.
Yeah.
And so I didn't realize I had the capability to not only go past the paycheck to paycheck, but have the influence of so many people, you know.
Isn't that crazy? Because you say that, and she didn't see that before.
I didn't.
But the fact that now that you've become that, from the moment I met you, that's what I saw. That's who you were, and so it changes other people, the way other people see you, and it gives other people permission to do that for their own life too.
I always knew I had a big personality, maybe sometimes crazy, and I always thought there has to be more to life than paying bills. Like, I just felt like I was always paying the electric bill or paying this bill. Or there had to be more than going to work and coming home. And I felt like that's all we did. Go to work, come home, no joy. Go to work, come home, go to your second job, come home. You know, and I think so many people are stuck in that. And they think that's all there is, because that's how I was.
And they think it's normal.
That is normal for a lot of people. So when I was given this opportunity, I literally had to have a little bit of faith in my person and just trust her. And everything she did, I did exactly what she said. And it worked. It was working. And not only did it work, it's so interesting when you have people on your team and it works for them. I remember the first time I got my first diamond. Right?
Yes.
And I was like,
you cry harder than when you hit diamond.
I was like, oh my gosh. And did you, I thought, well, I knew it was going to work for me because of my personality. I don't stop until I make it work.
Yeah.
But then when I saw someone else, I'm like, oh no, it really works. Like, it's not just me who doesn't stop. She made it work, and she made it work, and she made it work, and she made it work. It's a duplicatable model, and you get more excited. Oh, it's so much more exciting when they do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you go through all of these things with them, the ups and the downs, and you get to know them and the tragedies in their life and in their business and the joys and the awesome horizon, all the things. And then when they hit that, you know what they've been through.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
I mean, I just got on a flight out of my own paycheck to travel to literally the other side of the world, Australia. Because I had two of my dear friends, and now I call them my dear friends, and I didn't know them 6 years ago. Yeah. And they were being recognized as a diamond in our company. And I went on a plane to go congratulate them.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, because it is. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that's cool. So. All right, well, seriously, this has been so much fun. I've probably laughed more than I've not laughed through this entire thing. But I just want to know, do you have any final things that you'd like to share with people before we go?
I'm at a loss of words.
That might be the funniest thing you've said the entire interview.
No, I would just say, just start dreaming. You know, if you've never dreamt before, I'm giving you permission. Just start dreaming. And then as you're dreaming, the next step is to take action. And then the next step after taking action is just work as hard as you can. And guess what? It works. One time I heard our CEO of our company just say, listen, if it doesn't work, it's not the company. They've set us up really nicely, right? The product, the compensation plan, like this works. This model, it works. And my closing things are, if I can do this, you can do this. Okay, that's what I'm going to end with. Yeah.
Thank you, Molly. I love you. You are awesome. And I would like to let them find you. Okay, people are going to be going, okay, who is this girl? I got to come find her. I have to hear more of what she has to say. Okay. Where can they find you?
So I have a website. It's called discovernaturalwellness.com.
Okay, cool.
So you can go there.
We'll put the link here for you. Okay.
Yep, you can connect with me there. And I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, and it's just Molly Snow Dayton. So you can meet with me there, and What you see is what you get. I don't know what to say.
That's why people are going to be coming to find you. All right. Thank
Love
you,
to have
Molly.
you.
All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining us.